Sometimes, the very hands that push you down are the same ones God uses to lift you higher. In a quiet corner of Canaan, there lived a young boy named Joseph, the 11th son of Jacob, his father's favorite. From the moment Joseph was born, Jacob saw something special in him. He gave Joseph a coat, not just any coat, but one woven with many colors, a symbol of love, favor, and destiny. His brothers couldn't stand the sight of him. To make matters worse, Joseph began having dreams. Dreams that hinted one day his brothers would bow before him. Imagine being the youngest, telling that to your older brothers it didn't go well. Are we supposed to bow down to you? They sneered. But Joseph's dreams were not arrogance, they were prophecies. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers who were tending sheep far away. As Joseph approached, his brothers saw him coming from a distance, his colorful robe glinting under the sunday. "There comes the dreamer," one whispered. "Let's kill him and see what becomes of his dreams," another said. Their jealousy had reached its peak, but God had other plans. Instead of killing him, they threw him into a deep, empty pit, a dark hole in the ground. And while Joseph cried for help, his own brothers sat down and ate lunch nearby. Moments later, a caravan of traders passed by on their way to Egypt. The brothers sold Joseph for 20 pieces of silver. 20 pieces of silver, the price of a slave. They took his coat, dipped it in goat's blood, and lied to their father that Joseph had been killed by a wild animal. Jacob wept for days. He had lost his beloved son. Joseph was taken to Egypt, a strange land with strange gods and a strange language. He was sold to a man named Potiphar, captain of Pharaoh's guard. Though he was a slave, the Bible says, "The Lord was with Joseph, and when the Lord is with you, it doesn't matter who's against you." Everything Joseph touched prospered. Potiphar noticed and made him the overseer of his entire household. Joseph managed everything with wisdom and integrity. But just when things seemed stable, temptation knocked. Potiphar's wife began to desire Joseph. She tried to seduce him repeatedly, but Joseph refused, saying, "How can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" One day, when no one was home, she grabbed his cloak and tried to force him, but Joseph ran. His robe was left in her hands, and with it, she framed him for the very thing he fled from. Potiphar, furious, threw Joseph into prison, from the pit to slavery, and now to prison. It seemed Joseph's dreams were dead. But God doesn't bury dreams, He plants them. Even behind bars, Joseph didn't give up. The same favor that followed him in Potiphar's house followed him into prison. Soon, the prison warden put Joseph in charge of the other prisoners. One day, 2 new prisoners arrived, Pharaoh's chief cupbearer and chief baker. Both had strange dreams one night, and Joseph, gifted by God, interpreted them. He told the cupbearer, "You'll be restored to your position in 3 days." And to the baker, "You'll be hanged." It happened exactly as Joseph said. Before the cupbearer left prison, Joseph begged him, "Please remember me when you stand before Pharaoh." But the man forgot him. 2 long years passed, 2 years of silence, 2 years of waiting, 2 years of wondering if God still remembered. but heaven was still writing. One night, Pharaoh had two troubling dreams. None of his wise men or magicians could interpret them. That's when the cupbearer suddenly remembered. There was a Hebrew in prison who interpreted my dream. Pharaoh ordered Joseph to be brought out, shaved, cleaned, and dressed before being presented at the palace. "Can you interpret dreams?" Pharaoh asked. Joseph replied humbly, "I cannot, but God will give Pharaoh the answer he seeks." Pharaoh told him his dreams: 7 fat cows devoured by 7 thin ones, and 7 healthy ears of grain swallowed by 7 withered ones. Joseph explained, God is showing Pharaoh what will happen. There will be 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of severe famine. Let Pharaoh appoint a wise man to store food during the good years, so the nation may survive the bad ones. Pharaoh was stunned. Can we find anyone like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God? And just like that, the slave became the second most powerful man in Egypt. Pharaoh gave him his signet ring, fine robes, a gold chain, and a new name, Zaphnath-Paneah, meaning God speaks and he lives. Years passed. The famine came just as Joseph said. People from all lands came to Egypt to buy food. Among them, his brothers. They bowed before him, faces to the ground, not recognizing that the Egyptian governor was the brother they sold into slavery. Joseph recognized them instantly. His heart raced, tears filled his eyes. But he hid his identity for a while to test their hearts. Finally, Joseph could not hold it any longer. He sent everyone out and cried, "I am Joseph! Is my father still alive?" His brothers trembled, speechless and afraid. But Joseph said gently, "Do not be afraid. You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to save many lives." He embraced them, forgave them, and brought his entire family to Egypt, where they lived in safety and plenty. The dream had come full circle. The pit, the prison, the pain, it all led to purpose. Joseph's life reminds us that delay is not denial. Even when life throws you into a pit or people betray you, remember, God's plan is still in motion. He is the God who turns pain into purpose, betrayal into blessing, and a prison into promotion. So when you find yourself in a season that doesn't make sense, trust Him. Because the same God who lifted Joseph from the pit to the palace is still on the throne, and He's working all things together for your good. When it feels like your story is over, that's when God is just turning the page.